Thank you. It's wonderful to be in front of you. Since we have the last 10 or 15 minutes left, I thought it would be wonderful to get a rampage on... you mentioned before that we are the creators of our path, not the seekers of our path. So something that involves that, and something that...
In some ways, you're both, aren't you? Because you create it, and if you're not right on it, then you're seeking it. That's what the emotional guidance is about. So you're creators of it, and seekers of it, and finders of it, and that's what makes life so delicious. You create your path, then you figure out that you've created it, and you line up with it, and then the entire universe gives you a evidence of the work that you've done, and then off you go again. And isn't it fun? Isn't it fun? Isn't it fun?
It is fun. The other thing I was looking for is a rampage where I have trust that I've put in the vortex and it's coming. Sometimes I find myself working too hard to, constantly trying to find whether I'm in the vortex, out, and I think something that can ease me in terms of yes.
Well, this is really why, because we understand that with so many of you. In other words, this vortex that serves you is beginning to backfire a little bit in that you are working too hard on it again and not feeling the satisfying success that you are looking for. So that's why in this gathering we've evolved into some new conversation that if you play this game effectively, you'll break through that sort of bogging down point. And so here is the way we would play it. We would be soft, comfortable observers of life. And by that we mean what's going on in your life right now, this red hot minute. In other words, have an experience and acknowledge what it was. And when you find yourself experiencing something that feels less than the satisfying moment of manifestation that you would like it to be, propose to yourself that you are going to do some vortex work to do something about that. And we encourage you to start with soft things, not big issues, just things that occur on a sort of ongoing basis. So you take the issue that has occurred and you acknowledge that something manifested and it's not where you want it to be. It could be way better than it is, but it isn't way better than it is. It's where it is and it's not way good. It's something that you don't like. So then you say, I'm going to do some vortex work about this. And my vortex work is, I'm going to specifically acknowledge what it is I don't like about this briefly, and then I'm going to go general on that. So you specifically acknowledge that it was just unsettling that happened, and it was unnecessary that person behaved in the way that they did, and it didn't feel good, and you wish that they would behave differently, and you think they should know better, and with the history that you have, they ought to know better, and the fact that they don't seem to know better is sort of unsettling and really annoying, and you'd like to really let them know that they need to do, and so you sort of get going on that, and then catch yourself in the middle of it and say, all right, so that's where I am. Now I'm going to begin the work on this particular subject, and then go general on it. Well, it's not their job to make me happy, and I shouldn't be expecting them to stand on their head in all kinds of ways to please me. And I wasn't born to have a feathered nest, and I want to show myself that I can feel better because I want to. And after all, this is the work that I'm doing, and the whole world is not queued up to please me. That's not what I came forward into this experience about. I didn't say, I'll come and I'll just regurgitate what's there. I said, from it I will create, and so this is an opportunity that I've launched some creations, and so I'm happy to have had exposure to this life experience because I know I'm going to gain something and probably pretty fast about it. And I'm looking forward to feeling better about this. I'm looking forward to finding my footing. And I'm looking forward to having experience where I can feel myself click into alignment. I sure do like feeling better. And as you're doing this, and we encourage that you write it, not speak it out loud because you can't focus as well, and not even type it because there is something that is lost in the mechanics of the machine. Yeah. And it doesn't have to go so fast anyway. Sit with a notebook and write your improvement. And so write specifically negative and then vent, and then write generally negative and then vent. And somewhere in the writing of the general negative, you're going to start feeling things shifting a little bit, and you'll move from the general negative into the general positive very easily. In fact, they will begin to feel like almost one and the same. And then you will notice that you feel so much better that the specific negatives are sort of not even an issue anymore. You've almost forgotten why you sat to do this work. And then if you can, get into some specifics of the good feeling that you're looking for, but don't work too hard at that, especially not initially. But notice, and this is the thing that you're going to notice that you feel better. Put your pad down and your pen down. Write as your bottom line, I do feel better. This has been good work. I'm glad I had this experience. I like doing this. I'm pretty good at this. In other words, acknowledge that you've done it. And then your work is done. Now you've put it in the hands of the benevolent universe, who has made promise to you through us, and we're not kidding you at all about this, that now you've done this work, the evidence of this work will show itself to you. And it will. The first thing that will happen, or the second or the third, but really fast on the heels of doing that work, is someone will give you information. Someone will call. Something will happen. Something will shift. It is our promise to you. Evidence of that work that you did will appear in your experience and will appear there quickly. So the manifestation you're reaching for is the improved feeling, but the manifestation that is beyond that feeling will show itself to you fast. And as you play this game just a little bit, you will know unequivocally that not only are you the creator of your own reality, but you will know how to do it. Not only can you do it, but you are doing it. And the biggest benefit that comes from these exercises all day, every day, Esther says to Barbara, I'm just going to work the hell out of this vortex process. I'm just going to do it and do it and do it and do it. Anything that sets me off in just a funny way. They're in the penthouse. Barbara is staying with Esther, and Barbara went to take a jacuzzi bath the other night, and the jacuzzi would not work. And so Barbara says, no problem, we will just call the mechanic. And so neither one of them lined up with it. It was more about, well, we're in the penthouse, the jacuzzi really should work. Let's call someone. Why line up energy when we've got people? So they called the engineer. The engineer came. He was there a really long time, far longer than they wanted. Stayed way longer. It was almost not even worth taking the bath by the time he got out of there. He spent a long time, and he managed to make it work. He managed to make it work. It was wonderful. Barbara filled the thing with water, put some bubbles in it, got in it, enjoyed it until she couldn't turn it off. And so now this is what we're talking about. It's not the end of the world. It's not cancer. It's not my wife leaving me. It's not my children running away from home. It's just evidence that I'm not really in alignment. It's just a manifestation that if it matches where I am, I don't want to even admit that that's where I am. But if it matches where I am, then it's where I am. What am I going to do about it now, you see? And then jumping into action, discovering that jumping into action isn't the right idea. In other words, the way the jacuzzi is right now in the penthouse is you fill it up with water, you turn it on, and to make it go off, you have to drain the tub. And when you drain the tub, it might go off or it might set the ship on fire. We're not certain what it's going to do, in other words. And so it isn't the resolution that they are really looking for, but it was an opportunity to vortex work. It was an opportunity to take something that is unsettling and to bring it into alignment so that my alignment is not dependent upon how efficiently a ship is run or how efficiently anything is happening, or it doesn't have anything to do with anything other than my desire to feel good and my willingness to bring myself into alignment. So the reason that we are excited about addressing this subject in this way and encouraging you to really get your hands in the clay of your life experience is because we know unequivocally unquestioningly that whether it is a slight irritant or whether it is a bigger problem like a physical condition, whether it's something that affects only you or whether it affects a broader range of people, that you have the ability to bring yourself into alignment with any solution that this life experience has pointed you toward. And once you understand that, then it just gets really, really fun to begin the deliberate application of it. If you don't believe in the process, then big problems scare you. If you do believe in the process, then there are no big problems. If you believe in the process, then anything that happens has the potential of giving you an adventure that is really delicious and wonderful. If you don't believe in the process, then you're scrambling around looking for reassurance from other people that are looking for reassurance from other people that are looking for reassurance, and you're not living the robust life that you came forth to live. It is exhilarating to interact with you out here on the leading edge and to watch you discovering all the subtle nuances of delicious, deliberate creation that you are finding. You have the potential, because of your willingness to participate in a forum like this, of having or being or doing anything that you choose. But we want you to leave this forum understanding that it's not the having or the being or the doing of it. In other words, it's not the manifestation of it that you signed on for. It's the exhilaration of the discovery of it and the ensuing confidence and knowledge that then grows within you. And the manifestation of it is just a sort of serendipitous cherry or icing on the cake that lets you feel the confirmation of the worthiness of your being and the helpfulness of the universe, you see. There truly is nothing that is outside of your ability to accomplish it. And it is ever so satisfying to have life pointed out to you in a very specific way so that the accomplishment then of it is satisfying in new levels. Haven't you noticed that? When you want something and then you accomplish it, it is so much more delicious than when somebody just walks up to you and hands it to you. Even though no one could walk up and hand you anything if you weren't a cooperative component to it. But it is so much more delicious to be a deliberately cooperative component to it. You see, it's the difference between deliberate creation and creation by default. That's really what we're talking about here.
Yep.
Good?
Good. One last thing, Abraham. I don't know if this is a repeat question, but one thing that I have been pondering upon on this cruise is the things that I want to change when I go back home. This job, my online business, my family, things like that. And I think I've heard you for the 10 sessions, and I think I've got most of it. But if you were to give me something that, as I go back home into my regular life, the things that I can take from this cruise and really apply.
All right, here's the thing that we want you to hear. The changes are already made.
Awesome.
The changes are already made. Now you're looking for evidence of that change. The changes are already made. Now, so the change is made, meaning it's vibrationally done, it's present tense, and it's in the vortex. So the big change is already made. Your vibrational alignment with it is maybe, in some cases, still to be discovered. So isn't it going to be great when your moment-to-moment life shows you a piece that needs work?
Okay.
And what are you going to do? You're going to go general.
Yes.
You're going to do the work.
Yep.
But you're not going to do the work in an obligatory way. You're not going to do the work in the, I got to wrestle this in the ground and kill it way. You're going to do the work because you want to do the work, because the change is already there, and because you want that joyful journey from where it seems to be to the change that you're looking for. So the work that you're going to do is going general, and the accomplishment that you're going to receive immediately is feeling better right now, feeling better right now, feeling better right now. And then you're going to stop and say to yourself, all right, the change was already there vibrationally, and just now, with this little exercise, I've effected a vibrational change in me, and now the evidence is going to start showing up. And then it starts showing up. In other words, relationships that were dicey get better right away. People that usually don't say nice things start saying nice things. Situations that are usually tense are more relaxed. Things that don't usually occur to you until after they walk out of the room occur to you while they're still in the room. In other words, all kinds of evidence of the work that you're accomplishing happens. And so does it feel better? We certainly like the feeling of it, and we want you to find the feeling of it. When we said the change has already occurred, did you really want to go home and just discover the change? Or are you willing to go home and affect the change? Are you willing to go home and enjoy the evolving of the change? In other words, don't you want to be in on it?